So earlier today, I put out a question on my YouTube community tab for you guys to ask me questions. So I have a few different things I want to go over. There's a lot of questions about Amari Rodgers, Christian Watson, the Packers' chances going forward. So I'm going to talk about all of that in this video from reading your guys' comments. I'm currently not in my normal filming location. I decided to put my Christmas tree up in November instead of December. I usually do December, but I figured this year why not get a head start. But anyways, so it is a good day. It's a much better Monday to be sitting here at 4-6. I mean, not being 4-6, but winning a game on a Monday instead of losing. So it's been a good Monday for me, basking in the Packers win. So first question we have here from Rob Fultz says, how many chances are we going to give Amari? So Amari Rodgers has definitely struggled when it comes to being the punt returner. He has muffed multiple returns. He has fumbled the ball multiple times, and we saw it happen against the Cowboys. And luckily, the Packers were able to come back from that fumble, because at that point in the game, it sort of seemed like that could have been one of the big shifts in the game to allow the Cowboys to get back on top and win the game. Luckily, we were able to fight back. The offense played well, but that was a big, crucial mistake. Could have really changed the game, and luckily the Packers were able to fight back from it. But I do think, Amari Rodgers has had a lot of time back there at punt returner, and he hasn't been successful. We saw Keyshawn Nixon come in and be punt returner for at least maybe one or two more punts after that. And in a Matt LaFleur press conference today, they said they're evaluating the punt returner position. And so I would expect someone else to take over, just because when you make so many mistakes, obviously, players can learn and grow. But so far, he hasn't gotten the job done. So I would assume they're going to move on to someone else. Yeah, so we'll see if Amari is able to improve in that area. But I'd assume someone else will take over. Then we have here from Aaron Souls, says, which team do you think will make the first touchdown on Thursday? I'm going Packers. I have a good feeling about Thursday, coming off the win. The energy is high. Hopes are alive. I feel like being in Green Bay, the Titans are a good team, but I feel like the Packers have a good shot on Thursday. Then we have here from Vlogging in USA, will Watson keep playing good? I sure hope so. So 3 touchdown game. Definitely, needed that performance from Watson to be able to win that game. I made an entire video earlier today on Christian Watson, and sort of how, with Christian Watson playing the way he played, it gives this Packers team an actual chance, because to have the speed that Christian Watson has, his explosiveness, the ability that it gives the Packers offense to score quickly, because we've just seen so many times this season, it's been like 5 yards, 4 yards, 3 yards, but to have like a 58-yard touchdown from Christian Watson, if we can have more of this in the future, this Packers team will look completely different. And I feel like with Watson building the confidence from this past game, he has to feel extremely confident in himself going into the future. So I would expect Aaron Rodgers to have more confidence in him, and I feel like we'll see more of Christian Watson after such a dominant performance. Then we have here from AXOAZ, how do you think our wide receiver room is now that Watson has now bursted into potential number 1 receiver? So I feel like Watson, he had more opportunity this past week with Romeo Dobbs injured, Randall Cobb injured, and he came back from his injury. Christian Watson did. And so he's taken advantage of that, and he really showed, as I just said, what he can be. And I feel like the Packers are going to continue to try to get the ball his way, because, when you have a guy who is that fast, it's tough for anyone to guard him. So I expect them to continue to try to feed Christian Watson in whatever way they can. Then we have here from Ronald Martell, could the Packers get on the right track with everything going on? I definitely think they can. After this past loss, when it was, we were sitting at 3-6 before this game against the Cowboys, losing 5 straight, that past game to the Lions, things just were not looking good whatsoever. And it sort of felt like all hope was lost, especially with the injuries we suffered. Rashawn Gary, Eric Stokes, Devondre Campbell still out. It really felt like, man, our season's over. But for the Packers to come in at home, beat the Cowboys the way they did, hope is definitely still alive. We need to win a majority of our games, if not all of them. Maybe we can lose 1 or 2, maybe, and make the playoffs, but we need to perform well the rest of the year. But I think that this game on Sunday was definitely a step in the right direction. Just to see the Packers fight back the way they did, to see the offense be able to come back from down 28-14. That's something we haven't seen all season. So to see that, it gives me hope going forward. It's going to be tough, and we just need to take it one game at a time. But I feel like the Packers are confident in themselves now, and there's no reason we can't go on a run. But we got to come in each week and be ready, which I feel like they will be. So we'll see. But hope is definitely alive. Okay, here we have from Ronald, or I just read that one. So here we have from Four Wheel and All Day, I get it. Okay, who should replace Amari on punt returns? So we saw, it looked like Keyshawn Nixon went back there when Amari was taken out, and he honestly looked pretty explosive back there, and I feel like he could be good. They could test. Who else could they test? I mean, Christian Watson, I think he returned kickoffs in college. Romeo Dobbs returned punts in college, I believe. Romeo's injured, though. Christian, they probably want to keep him healthy. So maybe you could try, who else could we try? Samori Toure, I've heard some people mention that. I think Tom Silverstein mentioned that. I was watching some podcasts earlier today. That could be a good idea. I mean, there could be multiple guys, but Keyshawn Nixon seemed to play well in his return. I think he caught the ball up high, but Rich Bisaccia said he does that. So we'll see. They may go to Keyshawn Nixon. We'll see this Thursday. Another one from Vlogging in the USA. Will they make the playoffs? There's definitely a much better chance after this win. The odds are still stacked against us, but maybe that's good. Maybe the Packers needed to have to come back and, do what they've done the past week or so. And they definitely still can, but it's going to take consistency. We saw them fight back this past week, but it's going to take the ability to overcome whatever they face in every game. So, the rest of the season. So it's going to take a lot of consistent success on offense and defense, but we saw that they can do it. So it's possible. We have another one about Amari from Mr. Sam, but I already talked about that. Bendy Cop 82, is Randall Cobb coming back? Matt LaFleur in his press conference today did say that there's a chance for him to play Thursday, but he's sort of day-to-day, so it's not official that he'll play Thursday, but there's a small chance, which obviously would be great to have Randall Cobb back. Another weapon Rodgers can really trust in crucial moments, but we'll see. He may or may not play Thursday. Will the Packers win this week? Vlogging in the USA. I say Packers will win. I just think the way we won the past game, I think everyone's a lot more confident now. And the fact that we're at home at Lambeau Field, I think that the Packers have a good chance for Thursday night. But it should be a good game. And let's see. God of Thunder. Appreciate the question, God of Thunder. You comment a lot, so I appreciate your support. Let's see. You think Christian will be better than Romeo? Honestly, I think they're both talented in different ways. But I think when you look at pure athleticism and speed and strength and build, Christian Watson definitely has Romeo beat. I mentioned it earlier today in my video. I mentioned it during the draft process that Christian Watson was graded as one of the most athletic wide receiver prospects of all time, top 5. I think I saw he's number 2 overall, maybe 5, out of 3,000 receivers. So he's one of the most athletically lifted players all time at 6'4", 200 plus pounds, 4.3 something 40. I mean, he has all of the physical abilities, and so to see what he did on yesterday, gives me lots of hope going forward. But he has had problems with drops at times. That was his issue in college as well. Hopefully he can clean that up, and I would assume he has more confidence now, but who knows if that will come up again. Hopefully not, but it could happen from time to time. But I think they're different, and I think that they both can be very successful in the league. We've seen both of them now play really well at times, and so I think looking ahead 2-3 years, these guys could be both legit. But when it comes to overall ceiling, maybe Christian Watson, if he can really keep this up, because we saw just how dominant he can be. But Romeo too, I think the sky's the limit for both of them. So it'll be fun to watch them over these next few seasons. Then we have, I think, one final question from Vlogging in the USA. Thank you for your questions. They're 4 or 5 from you. So will they win the division? I'm guessing you mean the NFC North. That's going to be tough just because the Vikings are, I think, 7-1 or 8-1 right now, which means the Packers are still 5 or 6, however many games behind now. So for that to happen, first off, the Packers need to play well the rest of the year, and then we need the Vikings to lose 5, 6, 7 games. So odds aren't high. I would assume if the Packers did make the playoffs going on a run here, they would probably be a wild card team. But hopefully, we can be cheering for the Vikings to lose the next few weeks going forward. But they look really good, and the Vikings have played really good this season. So I would expect the Packers, if they did make the playoffs and go on a run, to be a wild card team. But if the Vikings collapse, that would obviously be amazing. So I'm going to cheer for that and hope that happens. But it's going to be tough for the Packers to win the division, definitely, at this point. But those are all the questions right now. There could be some more coming in later, and I may make a video in the future on some other questions if there's some different ones. But that is all for today. We have a game in Tuesday, Wednesday? Only 3 days, which is actually pretty exciting. So it's fun to be sitting here with a win. It feels much different. The hope is alive. It's sort of sad getting to that losing streak. You're like, man, are they ever going to win? Now they have, and I think they can build off this. So Thank you so much if you watched this entire video. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time.